Born on the 14th of October 1964 in the commercial city of Aba, Oluogbuibe's first introduction to arts came from his father. His father, a preacher, was also a school teacher, a world sculptor, and a sign painter. During his days at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, he was a radical student union leader between 1983 and 1985. He earned a suspension and a lot of good trouble there for his activism. This did not in any way affect his academic exploits, as he went on to graduate as the best student in his class and of all time from the Department of Fine Arts. He later earned a PhD in Contemporary and African Art at the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London in 1992 for his thesis titled Uzo Egon, an African Artist in the West. Oluogbuibe is an art historian, art curator, and leading contributor to post-colonial theory and new information technology studies. For years, he taught at numerous universities worldwide, the last of which was the University of Connecticut, where he was a professor of art and African American studies. He was also a senior fellow of the Vera List Center for Art and Politics at the New School, New York City, and the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. He started publishing poetry at 14. His first collection of poems, A Gathering Fair, won the 1992 Christopher Okigbo All-Africa Prize for Literature. As a practicing artist, he has had one-person exhibitions in Nigeria, Britain, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, Korea, Cuba, Australia, and many others. His most important work, Monument to Strangers and Refugees, a public sculpture in Königsplatz, King Square in Kassel, Germany, was awarded the Arnold Board Prize in July 2017. The masterpiece, which has the words, "I was a stranger and you took me in 4 different languages, Turkish, Arabic, German, and English, was fiercely opposed by the right-wing anti-immigration opposition, who felt it was supportive of the then administration's open immigration policy." In this interview, Olu explains the message in the obelisk.
Politically, in current times, in recent times, people have tended to look at the subject matter in a one-way kind of way, thinking only of those who are coming in, but also thinking in terms of rights, in terms of entitlement sometimes. But I believe that it's important to realize that hosts also incur costs. The kindness is not free. It's a natural law, but it's not free. So those who take people in and those who are taking in deserve to respect one another, and those who are taking in do need to be grateful to those who take them in. So that's the message. Our sources are scriptural, they're ancient, but if you read the text very carefully in all the languages that we've used here, and these are the most widely spoken languages in Kassel, if you read the text very carefully, you see that it incorporates these 2 principles, that of hospitality towards strangers, but also that of gratitude from strangers. And I wanted to bring that to Kassel at this point in time, because I think it's very pertinent for the times.
His most recent exhibitions were the last 2 months in Berlin, Germany, and Milan, Italy. In a recent Facebook post, Oluogbuibe said he dislikes traveling anymore or even getting around. He dreams of the day when the art world would finally start buying his work, and he'll make lots of money, set up a charity, and retire to monastic life in some remote sanctuary where he can continue to work until his number is called. The pastor's son, who was once a child preacher, advertised his epiphany in a recent Facebook post. "I used the critical skills that he, my father, imparted to me to determine in my early youth that religion is no longer necessary, and a foreign faith even less so," he writes. He now deploys his righteous anger developed in his early years in secular sermons. Please join us on Sunday when this award-winning artist, writer, and all-round reclusive genius joins us on 90 Minutes Africa.